Hi guys, welcome back to Webby On Cars, welcome to another video. Today is episode 5 on Hot Hatch Heroes, and we've got a car that I've been really looking forward to getting to drive. Is the 2019 Hyundai i30N. Everybody seems to know this car. It basically shook up the hot hatch market when it first came out a couple of years ago, basically because they nicked one of the blokes from BMW's M division, Albert Bierman, to oversee the whole project and make sure that it's basically one of the best hot hatches on the market. So without further ado, let's have a look around this fantastic little car. So here it is, the 2019 Hyundai i30N in Micron Grey, so it's a really good looking colour. I love the styling on this thing, just a little red lip you can see just down the bottom of the front bumper there. That's a really neat little touch. It's got some really nice looking wheels on it as well. So it's got the recipe for a really good hot hatch. It's pretty understated, but then you can see some little styling cues that mark it out from all the other cars in the standard sort of i30 range. You've got the little red sort of line around the back of the rear bumper as well. Twin exhausts, which are fairly decent size in terms of diameter as well, as you can just see down there. So it definitely marks it out as not being a regular i30. And then obviously you've got that fairly standout badge on the back there that just gives you another little telltale sign. It's also got quite a nice little spoiler on the back. Now I actually like the way you can see the little sort of where the air goes through here. That's quite a neat little touch. And the little brake light at the top there in a triangle design. So there's some really nice little sort of cool touches to the car, which just make it stand out, as I say, from a standard i30. But again, not over the top, not like, for example, a Civic Type R, which you might have seen in my first video in the series. That's all wings and sharp angles and bits and pieces, and looks a bit like a Batmobile. But this is still very, very discreet, very understated, and very good as a day-to-day daily driver. So I'm going to have a look a bit more inside the car now, show you what the car's like inside, and yeah, see what it's all about. So as we look inside the interior then, now this particular car has got what they call the luxury pack. So you get these nice sort of leather and Alcantara seats. It also comes with heated seats, heated steering wheel, so you've got some really nice sort of luxury features. You've got electric seats there with electric lumbar support. On the door there you've got buttons for the memories for the seats. So for a small car it really packs a lot of sort of high-end stuff that you'd expect to find in much more expensive cars. Nice sort of dash layout. Everything's nice and clear. Is obviously very similar to a standard i30 until you see those light blue buttons on the steering wheel. They're what makes all the fun happen. We're going to go into those a little bit later when we get out for a drive. But as you can see, nice interior. Looks really comfortable in there. The seats are super comfortable. This one's even got the optional panoramic sunroof as well. So actually fully loaded. It's got all the bits and pieces on this car. So yeah, what a fantastic little hot hatch. So now inside the car, just having a look here at the dashboard. All the instruments are nice and clear. There's nothing too sort of complicated going on there. So it's nice and easy to read as you're driving along. Nice layout of all the buttons on the steering wheel as well. This is the important one. This is the go fast button. And this is where you can just obviously switch between your driving modes. You've got volume and that sort of thing. You've got your cruise control. So it's all sort of pretty standard stuff. Coming over to sort of the other bits and pieces, down here we've just got the climate control buttons. Manual gearbox, all important. These only come in manual at the moment. There is an auto coming apparently. It's still probably another year away from what I understand. But for now, the manual gearbox is a good option. Heated seats, all important for the winter mornings. And then we come to the infotainment system. So pretty much like any of the car, obviously we've got sat nav and bits and pieces like that. But here's an important button to to pay attention to, N mode. So when we go into this is basically where you can set up the car and customize everything. You can see lap times and G-force, you know, how much power you're using, how much torque you're using, how much pressure the turbo's using as well. When we come into the custom mode, I really like this. This is right up my street. So this is where you can actually choose individual settings for all the functions of the engine and the exhaust and suspension and everything else. So with the powertrain, as you can see, you can choose each individual item and adjust the way you want them to perform. So if we just look at the engine, so there you go. So we've currently got it in Sport Plus, so that's obviously the best setting because it makes you go faster. Rev matching, this is a feature I really like on this car. So Luke currently uses it in Sport Plus, which is fantastic. Even does it when you go into first gear. So if you come into like a tight sort of hairpin or something like that and you put the car in first gear, it will still rev match going down into first gear, which is cool. You've got the E limited slip differential, again great for coming out of tight corners. And then you can also adjust the exhaust sound as well, which again Luke's got it in Sport Plus, which makes some really great sort of pops and bangs as you're sort of up and down changing the gearbox. You can also then adjust the chassis as well. So there's loads and loads of you know, adjustment on this car. It does feel very BMW, which is no surprise really, to be honest. So again, you can adjust the suspension, and yeah, depends how many sort of potholes you want to fill. But even earlier we were driving along, Luke had it in Sport Plus, and it didn't feel too bouncy at all. You could tell it was definitely firmer than sort of the normal or the sport setting, but it didn't feel sort of uncomfortable. It didn't sort of, you know, jar your spine every time you went over a twig in or anything daft like that. Again, you can adjust the steering as well. So you can have a mix and match of basically anything you want really, and different levels of traction control. So yeah, they definitely put a lot of thought into this car in terms of trying to give you maximum driver engagement, which is obviously what a hot hatch is basically all about. So coming to under the bonnet, it's got the traditional for the class, a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. It makes a really healthy 202 kilowatt and 353 newton meters, so more than enough to pull along this sort of fairly light car. So 202 kilowatt, that's really getting nearer to Golf territory, as in Golf R, sorry. And then say 353 newton meters in a car that's not too heavy, certainly gives it enough grunt out the corners. So yeah, keen to see how this performs on the road. It certainly felt pretty lively when Luke was driving it before we got to this filming location. So yeah, and obviously when you drive a car it always feels a little bit different. But yeah, keen to see exactly what it feels like as we go for a drive shortly. So that's the inside covered, that's the outside. We had a quick look around. So I think the only thing to do now is actually take this car for a drive and actually test it out myself and see what it's like on the roads. So yeah, so let's do that next. All right, let's go and take this i30N out for a drive. Really keen to see how this thing goes because I've heard so much about them. And Luke tells me it's a fantastic car, so what a good start. Stalled it.
Clutch.
Yeah, clutch is in.
This is what I mean by giving it that little bit of
welly.
Yeah.
Let's try again, shall we? I have got a manual licence, honestly, but I've been driving automatics for too long.
You're not in there, mode. Stop.
So I've just pushed the N button, so that's going to enhance the cracks and the bangs from the exhaust, which is obviously what we want to hear. And you can definitely feel the suspension's a little bit firmer as well. And the steering's got a bit got a bit more weight to it. I do love the rev matching in this, really cool. Takes all the effort out of changing down gear. You get a little bit of a pop from the exhaust, and yeah, it definitely makes you feel like you're in a sports car and having a bit of fun. Except when you get stuck behind a Subaru Forester out for a Sunday drive. So I press the button to put the car into N mode. So that basically puts everything into full sport plus, suspension, weight of the steering. And even though the suspension is on its hardest setting, it's actually not that uncomfortable. You've got a bit more flatter cornering. You feel the bumps a little bit more as you're going along, but it doesn't feel, you know, really jarring like a Focus RS or something like that. It's actually still sort of usable, you know, every day. That was cool. That was cool. I just downshifted into second gear going around the tight left hairpin, and you could hear the crackles from the exhaust, which was really cool. I can now see why every review or every video that I've watched about this car has said it's so much fun and how good it is. Yeah, it definitely lives up to the hype. So that comes to the end of another video. I've had a fantastic time driving the Hyundai i30N. So I've got to give a big shout out to Luke, the owner, for letting me drive his car today. I'll leave his Instagram details in the description of the video below. So if you want to check out some more photos, videos of his car, you can do. If you've enjoyed it, then obviously please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos yet to come. There's going to be some more hot hatch stuff coming soon as well, to add some more cars to the series. So yeah, so if you've enjoyed it, watch out for the next one that's coming soon. So thanks for joining me. Hope you liked the video, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Cheers.